Enough! I'm just an unwanted child anyway. A young girl screams with all her might, longing for her mother's true love. What is a family really? As I ponder this eternal question, I hold the crying girl in my arms. My name is Emily. I became pregnant for the first time at 32. My husband Kenneth is 35 and has a child from a previous marriage. This is my first marriage, but Kenneth's second. He has a daughter with his ex-wife, Rosie. Rosie's infidelity was the cause of the divorce. Kenneth wanted to take his daughter, but she, only 2 at the time, adamantly refused to leave Rosie. Reluctantly, Kenneth let her go, as Rosie promised to take care of her. 5 years after the divorce, Kenneth still pays child support, but has never seen his daughter. I met Kenneth 4 years ago. We married a year after dating, and soon conceived. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about Rosie's child, but I harbored no negative thoughts. Instead, I felt sorry for Kenneth, unable to see his child. Before my pregnancy, I hadn't thought much about children. However, carrying a new life made me realize the pain of being separated from one's child. The mere thought of being apart from a newborn is terrifying. Maybe I'm slowly gaining a sense of parenthood. One day, while walking with Kenneth after a prenatal checkup, he suddenly exclaimed, "Ah!" he exclaimed. In front of us was a couple, arms linked. "Wow, long time no see," the woman said to Kenneth. "You too. Wait, isn't Stephanie with you?" I recognized the name. This woman was Kenneth's ex-wife, and Stephanie, their daughter. Despite living in the same city, their encounter left me speechless. Stephanie? Isn't she at home? She seemed indifferent about her daughter, out on a date with a man, possibly her boyfriend or husband. What's with that tone? You should know where your child is. She's in elementary school. She can stay home alone. She's only a first grader. Alone at home? Don't meddle in other people's business. Stephanie is my daughter. Sure. Keep paying the child support, okay? Hey! Ignoring an angry Kenneth, she and the man quickly left. A few days later, while shopping alone, I saw a familiar woman approaching. Perfect timing. I was about to go to your house. Here, take this. She thrust a young girl with a school bag in front of me. Her daughter, Kenneth's Stephanie. She must have learned her address through Kenneth. What I thought was coincidence wasn't. I'll be away for a while. Can you look after her? Wait a minute. Before I could respond, she disappeared. How fast? Left with Stephanie, I suggested. Let's go home. I couldn't leave her there. She was expressionless, silent, and immobile. Finally looking at me. I know I might not be perfect, but please take good care of me, she said politely. A first grader? Really? Confused, I let her home. I'm so sorry. I gave Rosie a piece of my mind. Kenneth apologized when he returned from work. It's okay. We can't leave a small child alone. I understand. It's unclear what Stephanie thought of her father, but she quietly read her book. A very well-behaved, quiet girl. That was her first impression. Odd for a first grader not to miss her mother after a few hours, yet she said nothing. Until Kenneth got home. Want some snacks? Or, how about watching some anime? I tried to engage her. Don't worry about me. But all I got was, do you enjoy school? What's your favorite food? When I asked. Nothing in particular, she simply replied. Eventually, we both fell silent. It was incredibly awkward. That woman, she's off on a week-long trip with her new boyfriend, not even thinking about where to leave the child. It's just terrible. How did she handle these situations before? Probably our recent accidental meeting made her think she found the perfect place to leave Stephanie. Her parents are long gone, Kenneth murmured softly, filling the air with a sense of helplessness. For a week, Stephanie remained a good girl. You might think that's good, right? No, I think it's not good at all. She's a child, right? Still a first grader. Isn't this the age to be a bit troublesome? In the end, she stayed good, and the week ended with an awkward silence. Then the day came for Kenneth's ex-wife to pick her up. On that Sunday morning, Stephanie seemed unusually restless. Mommy, is she coming? She's still a child, missing her mother. Just as I was thinking this. What? You said your wife was there, right? Listen, my wife is pregnant and can't manage everything. You know that, right? Think about Stephanie's feelings, waiting eagerly for you. Kenneth's angry voice echoed. Stephanie looked out the darkening window with sad eyes. Her mother didn't come to pick her up at the agreed time. When Kenneth called her, she must have said something came up. Kenneth was furious. No pickup time for Stephanie today. Keep your promises! It's cruel, isn't it? Hey! Hey! You're kidding me! She hung up. Kenneth stood stunned after being abruptly cut off. Stephanie, how do I explain this? As I reached to touch her shoulder, she slapped my hand away. Stephanie? It's fine. What? It's fine! I'm just an unwanted child anyway. Stephanie, wait! Mommy always does this. Always choosing men over me. Always coming home late. Never cooking. Always just fast food from the grocery store. Just bread for school trips. Never coming to classroom observations. And she won't come to the upcoming sports day either. Stephanie. Tears overflowed her eyes. Am I unwanted? Am I just a nuisance to Mommy? I kept my promise. I was good. But Mommy. Stephanie. Unable to hear more, I hugged her tightly. At that moment, he probably couldn't hold back anymore. Stephanie burst into tears. She must have been holding back all this while, believing that being good would make her mother care. There were no unnatural injuries or shabby clothes on Stephanie. Her mother provided care, in a sense. But what a young child needs most is love. A tight hug, a gentle stroke on the head, to be told, I love you, you're precious. That's what she never received from her mother. Stephanie! Kenneth couldn't help but embrace her too. Dad! Their relationship had been awkward all week. A father and daughter, connected by blood, looking alike. But between them lay a thick wall, built over the long months of not being able to meet. However, the moment Kenneth hugged Stephanie, it felt like the wall between them crumbled. For a while, the three of us continued to embrace and cry. Eventually, her mother came to pick her up, but not until another week had passed. A month after Stephanie returned to her previous life with her mother. I want to take Stephanie back. Kenneth spoke to me with a serious expression. It's okay, I immediately replied. Are you sure about deciding so quickly? What are you talking about? I've thought a lot over this month. If you hadn't brought it up, I would have suggested it. Really? Yes. After all, Stephanie is your daughter. Your beloved daughter. And she's going to be the big sister to our baby. I rubbed my swollen belly. At that moment, as if agreeing, the baby inside kicked. Overwhelmed with happiness, I looked at Kenneth. She needs a family that loves her. Not just someone who lives with her and feeds her. She needs a real family. Emily, let's go get her. Our precious Stephanie. Thank you. Honestly, I still don't feel like Stephanie is my daughter, but she must feel the same. To her, that woman is her only mother, and she can't see me as a parent. That's okay. Better than leaving her with that woman. I can't bear to see her cry like that again. It doesn't have to be a mother-daughter relationship. Family doesn't have to be just that. That's what I want to believe. But we shouldn't force her. We need to talk to Stephanie first and understand her feelings. Yes, her feelings are what matter most. Thank you. It's something I can't do. Dad, you should do it. Of course. I'll also consult a lawyer to make sure we can get custody without any issues. Please do. And so, we began preparing to welcome Stephanie. But things moved unexpectedly fast. Starting with Stephanie's sudden appearance at our house. One day, returning from a baby checkup, I found someone sitting in front of our house. It was Stephanie. What happened? Mommy? She burst into tears. Her hands were incredibly cold. How long had she been sitting there? Seeing Kenneth rush home early after my call, she cried again. After she cried herself to sleep, Kenneth called Rosie. What? You don't want her anymore? What does that mean? Rosie's voice came through Kenneth's phone on speaker mode. So my current boyfriend doesn't like kids. I can't keep her here. Just don't let the man into the house. He wants to live together, but I can't just abandon Stephanie, right? I don't want to be accused of being cruel to my child. Leaving her outside our house is cruel enough. What can I do? I just delivered her to her father's house. She's yours, Stephanie. You raise her. Fine. I get it. I'll raise Stephanie with all my love. She'll never go back to you. Is that what you want? That's what I'm saying. Oh, and I can't pay child support. I have no income. I don't expect anything from you. I'll see a lawyer tomorrow to start the process of changing custody, so make sure you cooperate. Okay. My boyfriend is calling. Bye. With a flippant reply, she ended the call. A long silence followed, broken only by Kenneth's deep sigh. I'm sorry. Don't apologize to me. Right, I'll check on Stephanie. Please stay with her. Emily? Yes? Thank you. I returned Kenneth's tired smile with my own. I didn't know what would happen, but just like the child in my belly, I was determined to protect Stephanie too. That decision, however, didn't make the sudden start of parenting easy. I hate this! I don't want it! I won't eat it! Don't talk to me! The complete opposite of her previous visit, Stephanie was now a difficult child. Probably due to the anxiety of being away from her mother. She needed to vent her feelings. I endured patiently. You can't throw things just because you hate them. Everything has life. You won't grow if you don't eat. You can't communicate if you just keep to yourself. Tell me about yourself, Stephanie. Gradually, as I continued to interact without faltering, her attitude began to change. As my due date approached and I was rubbing my growing belly, Stephanie hesitantly came closer. Seeming curious about my belly, I asked her, Do you want to touch it? Can I? Of course. Just gently. Yes. With blushing cheeks, Stephanie gently touched my belly. At that moment, ah! The baby kicked. It's saying it can't wait to play with you. Did it kick because I touched? Is the baby mad at me? No, not at all. It's saying it's excited to have you as a big sister. Big sister? Yes, Stephanie, you are this baby's big sister. Really? I'm a big sister. Although she wasn't blood related to me, she indeed was the baby's big sister. That thought felt strange to both of us, and we shared a smile. It was the first time she truly smiled from her heart. Soon after, our son, Theo, was born. As a first-time mother, I was extremely cautious with the newborn. Kenneth, too, was gingerly holding the baby, his touch hesitant after so long. Stephanie was astonished by the presence of a baby, a brother, and the innocent face of the sleeping infant. Our strange relationship, no doubt, looked like a real family to anyone. Over 10 years have passed since we welcomed Stephanie into our family. Now, close to graduating high school, Stephanie has finally grown out of her rebellious phase. These days, it's Theo who's more troublesome. One day, Kenneth received a call from Rosie, his ex-wife, after more than a decade of estrangement. What could it be? I was worried. After the call, Kenneth summoned Stephanie and me to the living room. Rosie wants to see Stephanie. What? Why now? Apparently, Rosie is alone now. She must be lonely. Always so selfish. Kenneth spat out angrily, raw emotion in his voice. I felt the same. After all these years of ignoring Stephanie, not even trying to see her? But the decision to meet or not was Stephanie's. Kenneth and I looked at her. Stephanie, it's your decision. To Kenneth's question. I want to see Mommy, she said. I see. But just to meet. I don't want to live with her. I momentarily thought she couldn't forget her biological mother, but her next words surprised me. My place is here. with Dad, Emily, and Theo. Here. Only. Stephanie. But still, Mommy is Mommy. Please understand my desire to see her. Of course. She has grown up, become an adult. I was moved to tears by her ability to express her feelings so clearly. Stephanie calls me by my name. I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me, but I don't wish for her to call me anything else. In any form, we are a family. That was enough for me. And then, Stephanie went to meet Rosie. She planned to stay for a few days during the long weekend. I was worried. What if meeting Rosie made her feel that she preferred her real mother? What if she wanted to live with her? I had no right to stop her, but I feared Stephanie might get hurt. My only wish was that she wouldn't be hurt, or end up in tears. But Stephanie came back to our house. She returned the same day, even though she was supposed to stay over. What happened? Kenneth and I were surprised. She told us, I met Mommy. We talked about a lot. Her conversation with Rosie went like this. You've grown so much. Well, it's been over 10 years. What will you do after graduating high school? I'm going to college. Wow. Then you'll get a good job, won't you? I've decided what I want to do, and I'll work hard to achieve it. Amazing. Just like my daughter. Stephanie gave a wry smile, but Rosie didn't notice. You must have been uncomfortable living with a woman who's not your real parent. That's not true. Emily was very kind. The packed lunches for school trips were delicious. We even ran in the parents' relay at the sports day. She always came to classroom observations. It must be nice to have so much free time. Rosie laughed mockingly, and Stephanie couldn't overlook it. That's not fair. You never did anything for me. Mommy was very busy. You weren't working, were you? Well, I managed the child support from Dad. Huh? That stopped when you went to live with Dad. I've been struggling. And now I don't have a boyfriend, so I'm totally out of money. But if you live with me, it'll be fine. Huh? If you take up part-time jobs, we'll manage. You can work hard, right? What are you saying? I'm not living with you. Stephanie said with quiet anger. I came today to put an end to things. I've always wanted to tell you something. What is it? Thank you for raising me until elementary school. So you're going to repay the favor? Wait, listen to the whole story. And thank you for leaving me with Dad and Emily. They loved me very much. Emily gave me the love you never did. An overflowing love. That? Rosie was speechless, her body rigid. Family can be formed without blood ties. That's what I learned. My family is only those people. Mommy is mommy, but not family. I wanted to say goodbye properly. Goodbye, Mommy. I won't see you again. Wait! What about my life? That's not my concern. Find another boyfriend? Sorry, I'm really sorry. If you resent me for the past, I apologize. So, no need to apologize. I don't resent you. I'm thankful for letting me meet my current family. So that? Stephanie shook off Rosie's begging arms, smiled again, and said, Goodbye. So, she parted from her mother. Is that okay? Yes, I intended to do that from the start. I won't meet her again. Didn't I say? My place is here. My family is everyone here. Dad, Theo, and Mom. Huh? I was momentarily confused by what she called me. Surprised, Stephanie. Making a funny face, she said with a laugh. What did you just say? Mommy is Mommy. Dad is Dad. Theo is my brother. And Emily is Mom. Right? Her cheeks flushed with a shy blush. Mom, Stephanie repeated, and I couldn't hold back anymore. Stephanie! Wow! She looked puzzled as she embraced me, tears streaming down my face. Really, Mom always cries so easily, she said, laughing. After that, the whereabouts of that woman who fell into debt remained unknown. Our family's connection with her was completely severed. Hey, Stephanie, you forgot your lunch money? Oh no, I have a part-time job and we'll be home late today. Call me when you get to the station. I'll come pick you up. No need for that. It is necessary. It's dangerous. All right, I understand. You worry too much. What kind of mom wouldn't worry about her daughter? Stephanie, now a university student, seems busy, but happy with her student life. Her constant smiles make me happy too. I'm off then, Mom. She waves as she leaves. I too smile and wave back, wishing happiness for our family today as well.